Welcome to the cadence set known as Lucy for quad toms. So in this tutorial, I'm going to play the entire set at tempo, which is about 120 beats per minute. If you have watched the other recordings, those are all done at about 80 beats per minute so that the sticking is easier to identify. So in those recordings, I discussed the pickup note that's at the head of Copeland. This rest and these two 16th notes make up a 1/4 note beat. And to tie the cadence set together, these are played up here as the last beat of the second ending of pelvic thrust. So from a counting standpoint, if we start right here and we're on our second time through it, it would count like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 4, and 2, and triplet and 1, 2, a 3, and 2, 3, 4, and a 1, a, he, and a 3, and a 1, a, he, and a 3, and so on. So that tells you, from a timing standpoint, when Copeland begins. A couple other things about the cadence set. When we are in a performance, either a standstill or a parade, and the song ends and it's time to move out, we typically start with our rim clicks and start off every time from the top with pelvic thrust. There are two exceptions to this. One would be if Back It Up is called, or the other one is Boom Boom Bop. In one of those would be announced in the drum section to let you know that's what we're doing, and we would do that instead of pelvic thrust, and typically instead of pelvic thrust. And so at the end of that cadence, we would start back in quad toms with Copeland. And remember, this part is only in the quad toms, so it's the quads that lead us back into the cadence set. If there aren't quads present, sometimes the rim clicking will start and pelvic thrust will start back up. So when doing this cadence set in a performance, once we've worked all the way through the end, if a roll-off has not been called, then we jump back to the top and start rim clicking again and start the entire cadence set over and over again. If a roll-off is called by the conductor, where we roll off, depends on when we roll off, depends on where we are in the cadence. For instance, if we were in Copeland and the conductor whistled for a roll-off and we were somewhere near the head, then we would take that roll-off as soon as we got to the repeat symbol here. But if we were somewhere down here and the whistle blows, this isn't enough time for us to adapt to a roll-off cleanly and be prepared to go into the next song. So what would happen is, if we were playing this cadence and it was the first time through, and the roll-off is whistled for us and we're in here, when we hit the repeat, we would go back to the head and we would play this cadence over again until we got to the end, and then the roll-off would happen. If we were on the second time through the cadence and the roll-off was called in here, we would go ahead and play the next cadence the first time through until the end of the cadence. So you always finish a cadence before a roll-off. So let's jump over and look at the sticking and listen to it at marching tempo. Bass drum. Shot. Give him hell. 3. 3. 4. 3. 3. 3. Boom Boom Bop goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. Back it up. Back it up is signaled by the bass drums verbally, and then they open with a bass drum beat. After which we go into rim clicks with a gradual increasing volume, and then we stop and there's a bass drum solo. Then we go back into rim clicks with gradual increasing volume, and then there's a quad solo. Then we go back into the rim clicks with a gradual increasing volume, and then there's a snare solo. And we do the same pattern again, and then it's an all play where we turn around and start marching backwards. Okay, so the so the sounds you would hear would be like this, and I'm going to play each of the solos even though they normally would not be played on quads. 1, 2, 3, back it up. Bass drum. Quads. Snare. Everyone. When you hear the word, when you hear it yelled, roll off.